Yari, what are you
Okay.
dancing today?
Hmm. I think I'm copying you.
Well, then you're getting a lot of tiredness, and
Okay.
I've been partying for like a week, so my
Oh,
body
wow.
is like really, it's juicy. It's juicy and it's like it's done stuff. I feel like tenderized meat. I know you're vegetarian, but let's say a tenderized aubergine. Like my
I see.
flesh has been worked. I can feel like with every movement, like the lactic acid is being asked to move on, and yeah, it's nice. I feel good. I'm also still dancing a little bit with last week, where we were speaking about rules and genres, because in a way, this week's episode with Leonora also sort of spoke to this, how she would like, she had these plans, which would then turn into these beautiful dances with the world, like just from the way she chose her clothing and what it meant for the day, and then how she would improvise with that. And it was so beautiful. And because if I remember correctly, right, she says that it was a day of pleasure, like it was a non-work day. Yet it was so relational and like in conversation, and it was like it was, yeah, it's so much in dialogue with like everything that makes up a day. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, it was really beautiful because also we were a lot in conversation, or she really ex brought dance in every day, but only just a part of dance. For example, I am so astonished about when she speaks about the clothing and how she's practical in that. It reminded me so much how certain choreographer want really to be the dance about practicality.
Yeah.
Oh, like I'm going on the floor now. Okay. The thing is, I put my hands. It's like it's where it's not about beauty or aesthetic. Where aesthetic it's a choice for practical that comes from
Mm,
practicality.
mm.
And I like that every day she's trying to be both a bit quite open, prepared for a lot of different activities with their
Yeah.
clothes, but
Yeah.
also specific for that day. You know, if
Yeah.
she
Yeah. Yeah.
does really not know, she knows that she will not do this, then she doesn't really work for this.
But
So,
I think an aesthetic is born of that. Don't you feel like we were speaking about like genres last week? It's almost like because of what she has to do in that day, the um the choice of clothing and what it provides, it invites a certain aesthetic that they are working with, that they are busy with. Yeah,
absolutely, but then no, absolutely, but then there is some choices that are not in relation to practicality, I suppose.
of course,
And
of
those
course.
choices are what we can call it like a taste,
Yeah,
aesthetic taste.
yeah.
Beyond that,
Would those choices be
um,
sort of tacit as well, or am I then conflating things? Like, like maybe they do something, they have a secret affinity, they communicate that you belong to a certain aesthetic, a certain group, like it has an ability to provide a connection to a specific group of people. It creates a secret affinity. Maybe
yeah.
you don't explicitly or even implicitly recognize its behavior in that way, but it has this tacit ability to yeah provide a kind of secret affinity with others or something else.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. And probably some they are more like toward implicit, so
Yes. Yeah.
genre maybe or identity moves, queer. You know, it could be very clear, for
Mm.
example.
Yeah.
Um, but or subculture,
Yeah.
gothic,
Yeah.
office working
Yeah.
related. Then it might be definitely, as you say, more tacit. Just like
Yeah. Just a feeling.
yeah, or a little detail.
I mean, what I love with Leonora is how they are so well articulate around how they work, what they want to do, what they are working with, what is important in their practice. And they work within a very clear and well-defined tradition of dance, Swedish and Nordic folk dance, if I
Mm.
understand correctly, through teaching, through thinking, through practicing, through establishing different communities and also openings into the practice through young people or the elderly. It's a very, they have such a beautiful space within which they work, which is
Yeah, and
so
I'm very
cool.
happy because I think I've been listening and check out the episode, and I don't think we mentioned one time folk dance.
No, no, no.
So, so it means actually we were really busy about dance, and it was also a bit unknown maybe. What do we which kind of dance? Like there is
Yeah,
no really clear. There is even because the context also is sometimes you speak about teaching, about going to studios, but there's not really, like, oh yeah, doesn't it? It's not about genre. She's a contemporary
yeah,
dance,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah,
in relation to
yeah,
contemporary now. She's in the now.
yeah.
She's questioning what are we doing? Why are we doing it?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah,
And that's contemporary dance, I suppose. I'm
yeah.
sorry, now I'm
Well,
incorrect.
I mean,
No, maybe not contemporary as a style again, a
yeah,
contemporary
yeah,
as
yeah,
what
yeah,
a
yeah,
contemporary
yeah,
art. I'm like,
yeah. Yes, yes,
this is what
absolutely,
I meant. Sorry,
absolutely.
not
Yeah.
like
Or it's
appropriating
it's
that.
contemporaneous. It's
Exactly.
definitely contemporaneous. And um, no, and I think Leonora would advocate for that as well. Like they aren't working with some antiquated historical form of dance, which they wish remains there and that doesn't have a role to play in today's society and can't exist as something contemporaneous and as equally relevant as um, pop music or um, contemporary dance and classical contemporary music or whatever. So it's definitely true. But also just like she spoke about how, I mean, firstly, there was this friend, right, who just happened to be there, and then that formed a part of her day, and how like partnering works in folk dance, that you just go with the partner and it allows, yeah, the plan was still there, there was this admin to do, but the the way it was done differs because of the person they're with. And this is so beautifully illustrated, like in a very like concrete way, how how people affected, and also the very nature that these colleagues are friends and friends or colleagues, and that some friends that are hitchhiking just message in the middle of the day, and then they're like, okay, now I need to prepare the house for these friends. Like everything is incorporated
Yeah.
within this structure of the day, and yet it's still structured. It still has
Uh,
a way of mm,
yeah.
providing a frame within which to be, but it's so like how many people could say they could invite someone into the house within the drop of a within a few hours. There's something very porous and yet very um ordered at the same time. And like that relationship is so fascinating to me. Yeah. Mm,
Yeah, it's I agree. So also she started to clean out the kitchen. This was the plan before
yeah.
that was not connected to the person coming in the house also. And
Yeah.
this person comes like, okay, I'm just finishing cleaning.
Yeah.
You can
Here's some snacks.
so,
Yeah.
as you just described, well, it's such an interesting implement between choreography and improvisation somehow
Mm.
in relation to their quality, the quality of planning and the quality of listening to and taking opportunity and go with the flow, the momentum again.
Yeah. We're getting a lot of beautiful sort of vibraphonic
Mhm.
effects on your voice at the moment, Yari. But maybe you have a question for me, and then I will do a lot more talking.
Yes, so what did you do yesterday?
Ah, I wonder, what did Peter do yesterday?
Yeah, exactly.
So
What
I
was
made
your
some
yesterday?
I made some notes
Okay.
because I knew today I would be doing this. And yesterday was a very special day. So Julia, who I live with, who's my partner, it was their birthday. They turned 40 yesterday. So this is really a unique day,
Whoa.
kind of a strange one to retell. So I had like no plans. Like no normally I have my own things that I'm doing and stuff, but today I sort of like, it's like, this is Julia's day. Let's keep it open. So it's interesting to see what comes of that, right? So Julia woke up before me and uh, sort of woke me up about 6 o'clock. So there was this sort of waking up, and like I say, it was her birthday, so I wished them a happy birthday, hugged her, and then turned around and went back to sleep because I was tired. And
All right.
I'm not normally so tired that I can just roll over and continue sleeping.
Uh-huh.
Normally I am like I have things I want to do, and if I want to do anything, I do it immediately. Like this is the sort of like how I feel, like how my body works, maybe my temperament. Like it gives me anxiety if something needs doing that I would just put it off the mind. Like I'd rather start it and then I feel a little calmer. So usually I can like jump straight out of bed because I'm lying there and then immediately something comes into my head like, oh, I need to do that email or
Oh,
oh,
wow.
like really like this, like, oh, I need to prepare or listen to this podcast or like do this da 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 or make porridge or whatever, like get ready for the day. And I will like jump straight out of bed. But today I was like my body was feeling like what has been like a week of having guests over from abroad, friends over and taking care of them and like looking after them and then like not when you're in a mode of socializing and doing things I tend to I tend to not like focus on my like energy levels as much, and I go out and I try different things. So I was maybe doing more than I would normally do. I would probably stop earlier. So I was really feeling this in the body. And so I rolled over and slept a little bit more. And then I think, I mean,
Did you remember, do you remember some dreams from that? Because you woke up, but you remember
no,
some
no, not at
thoughts or
all.
some anxiety kicking in and you say, no, it's fine, I'm too tired for that anxiety.
Yeah, I don't remember anything explicit, but I do remember uh, feeling my body, and feeling the movement of the days. And I think I also remember because now everything is over. I think I remember like a release of like, oh, I don't have to worry about anything anymore. I don't have to like think of, oh, when will we heat up the curry for the for the meal, or did I buy those ingredients, or like
Right.
all those things had sort of like
Everything was
drifted
just
away.
also left over then. You have a lot of leftover.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of freedom. Um, yeah. And then at some moment, Julia had left the bed, and this prompted me to also get up. But I don't think I was quite ready. But I was also like, oh, I don't want to miss out on this day. So um, I got up, and Julia was on the sofa, wanting to open presents. So they were like, "Oh, I have a present
Oh, wow.
from my mom and from Julia's sister." And so I was like, can you wait 1 minute?" And I wanted to go brush my teeth because I remember my mouth feeling quite dry and uh, like from a night of sleep, of breathing probably through my mouth, snoring
Right.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was also Christmas. I don't know. Just imagining we're like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Yeah.
it's like we have to get
Yeah.
up because will be a big day and there will be some presents.
Yeah, because there was this question of like, Julia was asking like, can I open them now? Is it okay? And then part of me was thinking like, yeah, do you want the excitement of gifts now, or is it better to save that as something fun to do later? So yeah, I think there was an element of that, like, what's going to be special about today, and how are we going to make sure that you feel special as I think you deserve to, and all those things. So,
Mm.
but ultimately, I felt like, well, if you want to open them, you should open them. And it was also a question of like, do you open them all now, or do you like space them out? I think, like this sort
Right.
of thing. So, yeah, there was a
Uh,
sense of
did you
Christmas
did you prepare
excitement.
because I saw some people in Sweden really like this like fake um
Like coming into the
surprise in the
bedroom.
morning.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
But this was unfortunately it's because you were tired or because Julia really
Ah,
doesn't really she's not very busy with that.
well, actually, I don't think Julia's family ever did this. So
Okay.
Julia is Finnish. So then
All right. Okay.
I think, I don't know, but I don't think it's ever come up because, yeah, in recent years, I've heard from other friends who are Swedish saying like, yeah, on the birthday, they bring the breakfast into the bed and the cake even, right?
Mm,
There might even be
mm,
a cake. Like the second you
yeah.
wake up,
Yeah.
this seems crazy, but yeah, maybe. No, so there's no tradition like that. I think Julia has like little traditions, like would like to have a blueberry pie on her birthday. So there's often, because it's often this time of the year with like summer, midsummer and stuff. So we go into the forest and pick blueberries and things. And it's been really nice to be able to participate in that. for as long as I've known Julia, because it's quite. I really appreciate this relationship to nature. So, and actually, it's interesting being back in the UK because this is more my environment, and there's so little trees and places you can sort of escape to a green space. A green space is like a park with like cut grass, and everything else is roads and built up spaces. And like I remember appreciating those things as a child, playing in the garden where we had a few trees and a few plants and stuff, but it's a small little space with a little bit of grass. But it's very different to going in a woods and picking blueberries or bilberries. Um, yeah. So there's that tradition, but yeah, no, no, none of that. And also we've done so much partying and cake and
Right.
stuff already. So this was a day
Um,
of rest in a way. Um, yeah, so I brushed my teeth and then Julia got a scarf and some earplug things from my mum, which I still don't fully understand what they do, but they're apparently for sleeping. But they're electronic, so I wonder, like, do they play a sound or something like this? Like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to
is it
research
because
it.
because your mom knows you snore?
I don't think so, but I should ask her why she thought to get this. But I think with like Julia and my mom, they don't know each other so well. But I think my mom would like to know Julia. So I think with the gifts, there's often a like a little bit of like a testing the water, trying to like maybe Julia's this and
Right.
this. Like the
Yeah.
scarf is, I don't think it's something Julia would have chosen herself. So it's interesting to get. But
Let's hope to your mother doesn't get all that.
yeah. It says more about my mom than Julia.
But it's nice. It's cute.
But I think my mom just wanted that Julia has something to open. I mean, my mom
Yeah.
did say to me, like I was at her house and she gives me the gifts and say that I got this for Julia. Do you think she'll like it? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, no, I don't know if she'll like it, but I think um I think she'll like to receive something. And you've
Yeah.
already bought this clearly, so I don't see a problem with giving it to
Yeah.
her. Yeah, let's see. It's a conversation to like to continue and keep having. Oh yeah, and then Julia also got a letter from her sister, which was really handmade and very pretty. Julia has two sisters and a brother, and this had a picture of them, and it's very pretty. It's very cool. Anyway, then I made porridge. I do this every morning. Um, I make us porridge and I make it in the microwave. Um, it's usually just with water.
Okay.
Uh, um, yeah, I think at some point we um, we were quite poor, so we would eat porridge oats every day because they were like the cheapest breakfast, and we would have it with just water. And nowadays we do add some stuff. I think yesterday I added a banana, and I think I think that was it. I don't think I even added any like peanut butter or almond butter, but I still sometimes crave just plain porridge oats with like porridge, not just the oats, but yeah. So we had this. I'm looking at my list. Yeah, and some water with ice because we have loads of ice in the freezer from the party. So now we can have cold glass of water, which is very nice since
Mm.
it's usually warm here. Um, yeah, I mean, and most of the morning was just relaxing.
Uh-huh.
I think we were eating porridge and
Did
we
you
were
change? Did you?
No, no. I
You
think I
sort of stayed
was,
in pajama.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Which
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, if I'm honest, like if what I tend to do is I shower in the evening and then
Ah,
I change into a t-shirt and underwear that I will wear tomorrow, and then
oh,
I don't change in the morning.
beautiful. Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if sometimes sometimes I say to Julia, I'm like, do I smell? Like, should I be more concerned about my
Yeah. Oh,
uh
wow. This is so nice. It sounds, yeah, I mean, why not? There is all many ways of
yeah,
changing
I
and
think it's also something I'm negotiating. Like, is one shower a day enough? Like, am I clean enough? What kind of like, I mean, and I think a lot of my clothing as well is like multi-purpose as well. Like I like clothing that I feel I can sleep in, I can move
right.
in, I can relax in. And maybe it just needs that I take my trousers off or put my trousers on for me to change mode between like indoors, outdoors, or something like this. Yeah, I haven't had like specific clothes for sleeping in for a long time.
Mhm.
It's just they just sort of faded away, or like downsizing to move house all the time or to travel so much and things. So things like this. Yeah, yeah. So I think we did some social media and stuff. Like we were playing on the phone. I mean, Julia's getting a lot of messages and things, and I posted something on Facebook. Um, yeah, and then at 8 o'clock, I listened to the news, uh, and it wasn't so memorable. It was, and sometimes I do this. I listen to the World Service, so it's also not news from the UK. It's like news from around the world. But I tend to listen to this every like once a week or something. But and then I don't read anything else. Like I don't tend to look at the news.
Okay.
Julia looks at the news, and sometimes I will get information from Julia,
Of course.
like which can be nice, like, so what's the news today,
Right. If it's a good news, of course.
Well, I mean, also it's good to hear what's going on that's not great, but yeah. I think then we went back to the bedroom, and we watched Game of Thrones. So like we've
Wow. What
we've
time was that?
this is like it must be a bit after 8. Um,
After 8 in the morning.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love that. Wow. It's you have been
and
already in bed 3 times.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
At 8 in the morning. I love that.
I think we're gonna be in bed a lot more this whole day.
Oh
it's like a
wow.
bed-centric day, because we were
Game
in
of Thrones.
London the day
Ah, yeah,
before.
Choctaw.
It was
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So Game of Thrones. I think I always like to have something that I'm watching that I don't need to make any decisions about, Like it's something I
Mm.
can put on and we can enjoy and consume, and I don't have to think too much. I get very tired with myself of like having to make decisions around what I'm consuming or what I'm doing. Um, I I think, and then TV series become like a vehicle through which to like be bored in a way, or like to reduce decision fatigue in some way. And at the moment, it's Game of Thrones. We are rewatching the whole series, but like a little bit faster than when we watched it when it was coming out.
Oh wow.
It's fun. It's nice. It's interesting. It's nice to rewatch things as well. You see things you hadn't seen before.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, this
What
was
did you
like,
notice then that you didn't see before?
yeah, uh, like like it's simple things like, oh, that character isn't as horrible as I remember. Like their motivations aren't as
Mm.
terrible as I first thought. Uh, and 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 also seeing some of the motivation of other characters and thinking, wow, this seems really shallow. Like, why are they thinking that way? So, like, the first example is like of Daenerys Targaryen. Like, I remember thinking, like, why is she becoming? Why did it feel like she became super violent really quickly? But I think you see how she's negotiating this transition of becoming the leader of Westeros, or like moving to Westeros and trying to conquer it, and how she's having to define herself, and like her decisions make sense, whereas Tyrion, her hand, who she's often going against, um I'm not sure his plans would work. They're all very like the same as it's always been, like let the powerful just live. Yeah, so it's interesting to see that nuance rather than like, uh, yeah, as I used to see it. Yeah, well,
Okay, I see.
it's like a, revisiting stories and re yeah, like there's something that it's never the same on a second watch or second read or yeah.
Also going back to something with the knowing what's happened after.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Or have I mean I've forgotten a lot, but yeah, remembering something. I made a cup of tea. I had a rooibos tea,
Hmm.
which I really enjoy. And I remember noticing the adrenaline that I've been feeling, and how like my body's maybe like dealing with the adrenaline that I've had the past few days.
Okay.
Like, so actually a friend asked me like, how are you not burnt out?
Right.
And it's like, I think there's a form of adrenaline and moving on that. And that's interesting in relationship to performance. I think like you learn to ride the wave of adrenaline and how to like surf it somehow.
Hmm.
I actually found at some point in my career like quite a scary moment where the adrenaline would drop off before the performance had happened. Like the excitement was building towards like getting ready for the show, and then once I knew the show was gonna happen, the adrenaline just went away. I was like, oh, I'm not scared anymore. Like
Right.
it doesn't matter. With the exciting part was like trying to get it right and get to the place
Exactly.
where it was finished. Uh, but yeah, so
Yeah, it
I
happened
was,
to me also in
oh
the
yeah,
like second performance. Like those kind of
mm,
moments. Maybe it's
yeah,
not the second, it's the third, but like
yeah,
suddenly it's like, oh, today I don't feel any adrenaline. That doesn't mean that I don't want to do it, or I know also very well when I'm inside then I will be going. But like before, it's like, oh, preparation. I don't know if I'm good, but oh, I'm very busy with the idea of preparing, warming up,
mm,
feeling like where I am today. So
yeah,
when it's too low and I'm like too near the beginning, it's like, oh, okay. Well, also sometimes is when I'm too high and too far.
yeah,
Kind
yeah,
of the same.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's really it's like it's a little bit like mood as well, like because for specific performances you need to be in a specific mood, right? And you can't always control like
No.
what your mood is.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
same as that that like adrenaline, and then warm up can become like a week long ritual of like prepare, like ensuring you have,
Yes,
which is
totally.
ridiculous because of course
It's
you
ridiculous.
can't really plan these things, but yeah, it's an interesting relationship to the body and its performance, its ability to do.
Yeah.
Uh, I continue. I have a note here which says skin, but I don't know what that means. I think maybe because we were in bed, we're hugging. That's it. Um, and I think I even spoke about, or we were even speaking about how kissing is sometimes a little bit boring, and hugging is like skin contact is like more, uh, it feels more like a connection and more securing. And yeah, I think I was noticing that's right. I was noticing that through the skin contact, how the adrenaline was like it became like a comfort or a safe place to be in contact with each other.
Yeah, I always had a relation with like some people have difficulty in sleeping with hiding or like this
Mm,
you need some space. Do you have a
mm.
big bed?
No, well, we lived on a 90 bed for like quite a long time, and it was even a camp bed, so it had like these metal rings,
Well,
and like we were quite poor, I guess. We didn't have so much money at the time. We had no furniture and nothing else but this bed, and I think there was a chair in the kitchen. But and so then to sleep on that, you had to hold each other, otherwise the other person falls off.
I
Um,
love this. Practical
yeah, 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 yeah.
care.
And so we got very familiar with like how to sleep in contact with each other. Nowadays, Julia has a sore shoulder, maybe from this. And I'm just like thinking now, like,
Oh my
oh,
God.
yeah. So sometimes she can't sleep on her side and stuff. But yeah, we had this like relationship to sleeping, which was like often trying to compromise to sort of for the circumstances because we didn't have many. Like, and I think in those times also that one person might sleep on the floor for a bit, and then we would swap and
Oh,
things like
wow.
this. So it was like a negotiation, and it was like on the floor. There was like it was like nothing but the floor. So yeah, and then like we've gradually like increased the size of our bed and stuff. Here it's yeah, it's like a good sized bed. It's not huge, but it's good.
Okay.
We don't have the Swedish two duvets, which would be fun to try as well. Yeah, we have our own sheet, one sheet that we share. The most extreme was we had we couldn't afford a hotel in Helsinki, and also the one we had booked, uh, we weren't allowed to stay. Like they didn't. It was overbooked or something, and we slept on a bench, and the bench was too small to sleep next to each other. So I laid on the bench, and then Julia lay on top of me. This was maybe the most extreme
Oh,
sleeping
wow. So
situation.
you wear hair mattress.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yes, yeah. But now we're getting
It means you
old,
don't
maybe.
turn so much in the night, I suppose, while sleeping.
No, I do. I'm a mover, but I think when you sleep with someone so closely like that, you learn to like negotiate the movements, and maybe I have like one or two positions you can sort of take. Um, but the other person might need to move to accommodate that position. Remember last week, actually off the call, we were talking about kitten piles. It's a little bit like this, like where
Right.
kittens sleep together, and if one moves, they all adjust and uh, this kind of thing. Okay, I went to the supermarket to buy some food, and on the way, I listened to my daily music, and I actually listened to two because um I'd missed the day before. So I listened to Funana music, which is like a sort of folky electronic music, and it was okay. I was like, it's fine. I liked a couple of songs, but it was okay. And then I listened to Wasalulu, Wasalulu music, um, which was really beautiful. It's like really like amazing music. Like it really. mm, It really captured me. It was like quite calm and like but upbeat, and it had like very African vibes. And later on I researched the music, so I can
Mm.
tell you about that when I researched it. But outside, it had this like very like cool summer smell, and there was like li little splashes of rain, like really not raining at all, like just little splits of rain. Um, it was beautiful, a beautiful morning, with this summer smell. And in the shop, I bought a newspaper. I never buy a newspaper. Carrot, onion, celery, basil, and linguine. I'm gonna make some bolognese later.
Wow.
But I bought the newspaper as a birthday present for Julia because Julia likes the newspaper. And then I did research Wazulu. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And it's a West African popular music. Um, the and it's often sung by women, performed by women mainly. Mm, yeah, and it has like a call and response pattern to it. It's very beautiful. And the when I got home, the university housing is still really hot from the sun. So outside is this cool, and then I'm inside and it's like really hot. And when I get into the house, Julia is on the phone. I think she's talking to a sister or something. So I started cooking lunch. And this is before 11. This must be. So, because I think it's a bolognese, so it's good to
Yeah, it's true.
let it cook. I was thinking about you a little bit. I was like, oh, I might be telling Yari about my cooking bolognese, my Italian friend. Um,
Did you put some carrots in it or some
mhm.
onions?
Yeah, carrot,
Hmm.
celery, onion, garlic. Yeah, I made a ragu, I guess,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
and,
ragu. Yeah, yeah.
and let it sweat so it was really soft. And I'm gonna have it again today. I cooked it with green lentils, and I added some soy
Mm.
sauce and stuff to add umami taste. There was, I think it was nice. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Wow.
Mm. I broke the pasta, of course. No, I'm joking.
I think I do break it. Well, maybe I don't break the pasta, but a lot of my family do.
Ah, really?
It's okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
And also when kids, it's not that you have like you can have a long spaghetti for kids. It's, you have
Ah,
to cut,
yeah.
for example,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so they can
I,
eat and they also enjoy to turn. But
yeah, of course. I just say it because it's a little bit of a meme, no? Like,
yeah, it's a big meme, but it's I don't know.
everyone is their own person. I mean, right? At this,
Like there is a lot of stuff about tradition that also in Italian food, like carbonara. You know, carbonara
yeah.
has been invented in the USA in the 40s. So, but we are all
Okay.
convinced that it's Italian. Also
Right. Yeah,
Italians are
yeah,
convinced that they're
yeah. That's very cool.
so,
Yeah, that's funny. That's like tikka masala. You know tikka masala?
uh-huh.
It's apparently I've heard it's invented here in the UK. It's
Ah,
not,
right. Yeah,
no.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I can imagine they eat it now in India as well.
You know the
Sorry?
fortune biscuit, the Chinese fortune biscuit.
Ah, yeah, yeah, co a fortune cookie. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, exactly. It is actually Japanese.
No.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. Nothing is real.
exactly. It's like
All these cultural stereotypes. Uh, okay, but while I was cooking, I messaged with my mom. Mm, yeah, I forget what about. I guess I could look up uh, what I was sort of like talking about.
just talk about the presents.
Yeah, no, no. Ah, I
Okay.
sent a picture of my cooking. Oh yeah, and she
Ah,
sent the Wordle. That's probably why I messaged her. I didn't do Wordle today, but sometimes I do. And I sent her a cooker, and she said it looks cheesy, and I think it was because because the picture had the carrot in it. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And then I
Wordle,
said,
Wordle is something that you do with your mom as a response, like to see who is get more points or not. Sorry.
yeah, no, it's a word game that is daily. It's a bit like it's from the New York Times, and it's a bit
Yeah,
like their crossword. And yeah, I mean, we see if who got it like better,
faster.
like because you
Okay,
can get
okay.
it sooner and stuff, and like you can get it in 5 guesses or 2 guesses, and usually she's better than me, which is fine. No shit, no, uh, no, I'm not jealous. Yeah, and then we just talked about the day and stuff, and yeah, I asked her what she was doing. I will message her and talk to her later as well, but that's a spoiler. Yeah, yeah, okay. Then I sent some friends the recipes from the party. So I sent them a banoffee pie recipe and a recipe for a cauliflower masala that we had made. It was nice. And then uh, I listened to Julia read about Binface, which was in the newspaper. Binface is a comedian that is standing against Nigel Farage, a politician in politics, and they were talking about like satire and British
Mm,
satire and all this stuff.
mm.
It was interesting, and at the same time, I think I was sharing some music with Nina, a friend, who shared a song called "Mum Does the Washing" by Joshua Eden, and we listened to that. Then we watched another uh, Game of Thrones episode and ate pasta. And it was like 10 to 11 when we did this.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And we did this on the sofa. Yeah. And then Joe,
Okay,
I
so
think,
you moved to the TV series from the bed to the sofa.
yeah, 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 exactly.
Do you also eat sometimes in bed?
Yeah. But we felt like, I think Julia even said, like, I think spaghetti bolognese in bed is maybe too dangerous.
Yeah, it's true, it's true, it's true.
But I think during this, I paused to try and get in touch with my sister because I got like a message from her which was like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on?" And I couldn't, so I ended up calling my mom. I ended up calling my nephew. I ended
Oh,
up messaging my dad. And eventually I spoke to Jamie. She called and we spoke. So, but this was like pausing, going, doing that, and so on. And at the same time, I paused and I put some pain au chocolat in the oven.
oh,
Yeah.
nice.
We had this like this box which comes with it pre-made and you just like roll it together. It was amazing. And it's vegan and
Oh,
yeah, so I
wow.
had sort of like, oh, this would be a fun thing to do on your birthday. So
So what is the box? It is like you really it's one dough and then you just close the dough and you
so
put chocolate
like
inside.
it's like a one of these capsules like with pizza dough in
Uh-huh.
where you
Yeah.
spiral it open and like
Yeah.
bursts open. And then
Uh-huh.
I roll it out and it's like a
Uh-huh.
long line of pastry, but it
Mm-hmm.
has like dotted marks every now and again. And then you can just tear them into little squares.
Mm-hmm.
Then it came with little pieces of chocolate that you put on the other end and roll them together like a scroll and then turn them upside down and bake.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
it was really fun. Like so
Ugh.
simple and like and then you have like freshly baked pain au chocolat at home.
I'm so jealous
Yeah, it was very cool.
that
I
you are
would
in England and I can't buy this here.
who knows? I don't know. Maybe it'll come to Sweden. Maybe there is something similar. I feel like I've seen also just pet. plain croissants as well, but they didn't have them. But that would also be cool to have freshly baked. Yeah. And then the TV series ended at 12:22, and we went and lay down in bed again and fell asleep. I think because I was like, I feel really tired, and I think Julia too, and we're like, why don't we just lie down? Because I said, let's have a nap. And Julia is always like, no, no, I don't like napping. I don't want to nap. I'm like, okay, let's not nap, but let's lie down. And then, of course, we sleep. So I feel like I often trick Julia into
Oh my God.
sleeping. And then we slept and we were woke by the sun coming into the room because it had been cloudy before. And then the clouds had sort of evaporated at like 1:55. So we were sleeping for a little less than 2 hours.
Oh wow.
Mm.
I
And
I had a
the
partner
yeah,
that was when she was taking naps, she would if they would be like too long, she would really wake up very moody.
yeah, yeah,
And so I would like make sure after 45 minutes to wake her up.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It's like, hey, and yeah,
But
fun.
I can feel
Okay.
this myself. Like
Oh yeah,
if it's
I
too
can
long,
too.
like I go like, oh, like it can like I think you go into a deep sleep and it can ruin your circadian rhythm and everything.
Right.
Like it can feel really bad. I hope we didn't do that yesterday. I mean, I don't feel like I did. I feel quite good.
What's happened? When did you wake up?
And then I washed the dishes and cleaned the kitchen. Julia had a shower. Um, then I brushed my teeth and I took the rubbish to the bins. And then we went for a walk at 2:30. So
Nice.
we walked down to the local pond. There's a pond at the end of my road. Like I mean, they say it's a lake, but it's a bit small, I think, to call it a lake if you've lived in Sweden. So it feels more like a pond. We just sat on a bench and we were stretching. We actually did some admin and we made some plans. And then we also spoke about like the US and we were like talking about, or maybe we could travel to Panama because Julia has a cousin in Panama. So we could travel from Illinois, Chicago, and Julia also, her aunt lives in Florida. So we were talking about how we could get there and we were researching and stuff or sitting on the bench in the shade because it was getting hot now outside. So yeah. And then came home and I prepared dates to make a pie. So I had to take the dates and put them in water to soak them because I thought this was one of the plans we made on the bench that we would have curry in the evening and I would make a pie. Um, I also took out some watermelon and made a shopping list as well. I emptied the fridge. We had all this alcohol and stuff from the party, so I like cleared out stuff
You
and I
mean you
drank some
drank?
juice. No,
Oh,
I drank some juice. There was some
okay,
like
okay.
juice left over, so I
Oh,
like
nice.
because it was a big bottle. I was like, I would just drink this, like tropical juice. It was really good. I rarely drink like pineapple and tropical tropical juice. It's really tasty. It felt very like fun. And then we got our yoga mats and we went outside to there's this like patch of green between the houses, and we found a spot under the tree and we did a little bit of yoga, stretching, a little bit strengthening, some like warrior poses and stuff. And then we meditated for a bit and we had a conversation. I forget what it was about, but yeah, I remember lying on the mat meditating. I had a lot of insects crawling on me, so I was like thinking a lot about like when I'm meditating, should I brush them off or not? And I think I even researched it after. I was like, what do you do if an insect's crawling on you when you're meditating?
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of made sense, like recognize it, listen to it, try to understand it, and then slowly make a decision and then action the decision, like to brush it off or to move or adjust somehow and change the position so you're not going to have insects crawling on you, distracting you, but challenging maybe the meditation.
Is it was it Julia proposing or like because
Yeah,
her birthday, so there was an idea of how she leads the day, or
yeah.
you know what I mean?
I think so. I think it's interesting, isn't it? Like with like a birthday, because yeah, like on my side, I don't want to take up too much space. I don't want Julia to do too much. But at the same time, I think when it's your birthday and someone's behaving like that, or like there's a sense of like I would like to, I don't want to make all the decisions either, right? So I think it was a
No,
little bit of both. Like I heard Julia was saying like, I feel like there's some yoga, and maybe on another day I might be like, no, I don't want to do
right,
yoga. Whereas today I was more inclined to go, let's do the yoga, let's make it happen, and then I take on
right,
the decision making
right. Okay,
anxiety for her, and at the same time, because also like maybe she might also be like, oh, I don't know, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do yoga anymore. Like
yeah.
it's too much work, la la la, and stuff.
So you're
But
sort of listening and then
yeah,
take responsibility for
yeah,
others
yeah.
or desires.
And sometimes it can go horribly wrong as well, right?
Yeah,
Where you take too much decisions and you think you have picked up on a cue,
yeah,
and then you realize it's not quite the right, or you
no,
executed it wrongly, and
yeah,
or like you've made a plan and then like you start to realize the plan isn't working. So like having that flexibility and at the same time producing structure, yeah, it's a complicated little dance of like building and moving and listening and following and providing and gifting and caring and listening again and all those things. Yeah.
yeah.
And then we dropped some things off at home. I posted an image on social media of like the trees and the sky from when I was meditating. And then I went to the shop alone. I don't forget what Julia did. She stayed at home, of course. And I listened to more music of my daily playlist. Uh, and then I got home and I started preparing the pie. And I was listening to a little bit of my music, and then Julia came and joined, and she started reading part of her book on, it was about like not thinking. It's a kind of book on meditation, uh, about not thinking. And then Julia, yeah, no, sorry, then I started cooking the curry, which was like cauliflower and spices and things. So I was like sort of heating them up and stuff. And Julia read George Orwell's Homage to Catalonia, which is about the
Oh
Spanish
wow.
Civil War. And it was
Hmm.
really like quite emotional listening to this like description of him arriving to the city of Barcelona and seeing the anarchist and the communist flags and things, and how society had changed, but also like he was arriving to a new country and stuff. It was quite amazing. And he was writing this after he'd been to war, had fought um in the Spanish Civil War. And yeah, it was really scary and amazing and inspiring and adorable. You sort of like it's sort of yeah, it was beautiful in so many ways. Yeah, interesting. So we were also discussing that and anarchism a little
Did
bit.
Julia read out loud to
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So she had
And
got it as a birthday present. She's already
so
read it once, and
uh-huh.
she had got it as a birthday present, so she was just reading it out loud to me, and
So since the
I've never
beginning
read
then
it.
of the book.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. The first chapter I think we read. It was really nice. I really enjoyed it. And then Julia helped me finish while I washed up. Um, and then we ate and watched more Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
day has a little rhythm, right?
Yeah.
We really watched a lot of Game of Thrones this day. Um, but at the same time, I think we did a lot of other things like pausing and doing little bits and stuff like, and we were in the house all day pretty much,
Yeah.
apart from going to the pond, to the lake and going to do yoga. And then,
Is the curry with the like with the
yeah,
rice? Is that so?
sorry, say that again.
Curry was with rice or what?
Yeah. So we have a rice cooker, so I added rice. We also have a lot of like Bombay mix and things like this, like things that you can add on top.
Mm,
I also
mm.
made some poppadoms as well. I
I
put
don't know
them in
what
the
it is.
microwave. It's like a lentil crisp.
Aha.
Um, it's very nice.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has spices in it as well. It's
Mm.
very spicy. I had a little bit of chutney, so we have some tamarind chutney. It's all stuff left over from the party as well, so
Okay.
it was
Okay.
nice. Um, and then while we were eating, actually, I think Julia got a phone call from her parents, and I took the chance to call my dad. So spoke to him for a bit, and he told me what he was up to at work, and I told him what I had been up to, and we just caught up a little bit.
But did you already spoke with your dad or no? Or
No,
just
I had messaged him, but I hadn't spoken. I had spoken to my mom. They don't live together. They're separated.
do you speak often with your parents? Or was
Yeah,
because it was
I
a
think so.
sort of relaxed day?
No, I speak often, not every day, but often, and always organizing something or like having to keep on top of something and trying to, yeah, be there for each other. Yeah,
Mm.
so a little bit. And then we ate pie. I did some more cleaning. Yeah. And then Julia started watching the football game, which was Spain versus France.
Okay.
I made some tea and I took more rubbish outside to the bins, and I listened to a podcast now. I didn't listen to music. I listened to The Rest is Entertainment. Uh, but I was sort of interrupted. I was like planning on like I would listen and drink my. Actually, I had instant coffee. I had decaf coffee, and I was expecting Julia would watch the film, and I would be able to finish listening to the podcast, which was now I completely forget what it was about. But yeah, it's gone completely. But she interrupted me anyway, and said, "I don't want to watch the football." So we watched more Game of Thrones.
I I love this. Um, was there like a moment during the day where Yulia came out with some dance or some dance knowledge or some dance uh, gossip or some
Hmm.
dance
Yeah,
anecdote?
conversation. We did talk a bit, maybe, when we were doing the yoga, um, of like maybe not so much dance, but more like physical well-being. Um, I also have like echoes of conversations we've had from the party because people were asking like, how did we meet? Like, it was a lot of friends that haven't met before, so we were doing telling stories about our time with Julia, and some what three of us uh, come from the time when Julia was dancing. So we were talking about those times and what we did. Um, but that wasn't yesterday. That was a few days before. But those conversations are still sort of lingering because there was one conversation about Julia, how she used to warm up and practice and do Pilates every morning. Um, and yeah, and I think while I'm on the mat, I'm also thinking about that because we're also talking about strengthening and fitness and stuff. So it kind of came up like that, I think. Sometimes we will have conversations about dance. It can be related to my work or my friends. Um, and it can be on different levels, right? It can be on
Mm,
the level of theorizing about dance, like we
mm,
do.
mm.
Mm, Often, if we talk like that, Julia has her opinions and she doesn't have much time for mine. But she doesn't have much time for me, like going on and on and on about like some theory. She's like, I don't really agree, you know, and that's fine, like we. I think it would be crazy if she spoke about physics all the time and I spoke about dance all the time, but we do talk about it sometimes. But then also Julia really enjoys ballet, so she actually follows some ballerinas and ballet dancers,
Uh-huh.
and so sometimes she'll have me watch videos that she's like been watching and she's really excited about. Uh, and like, we go to the Royal Opera House together because Julia wants to see these ballerinas perform different ballets and things. So like, I'm a ballet audience through Julia.
Yeah, I understand. I love this.
Um,
That's fun. I also am a ballet audience.
yeah, maybe you have a similar fan. But we spoke a lot about hands at the party, because we were talking about different styles, British style hands being very quite
Oh,
flat,
huh?
and then American and
Mm,
Italian and Russian.
lovely.
Yeah. Show me your hand, how you would just naturally. Okay, yeah. A little bit of, yeah. Not bad, not English.
No, not English for sure.
Yeah. Have you ever been told to work with a more English hand?
No, 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 because
No.
I
You
studied
worked,
in France a
yeah,
lot, and there was a lot of Russian, maybe. So the
yeah,
question was more between French style and Russian style.
yeah. So she was also
Uh,
talking a lot about the Danish style, of course,
yeah,
coming
mm,
from Sweden.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's fun. I love these things as well, like they influence my thinking. So yeah, but yeah, yesterday, not so much talking about that. And then it's late. I think I tidied, I brushed my teeth, I flossed my teeth, and then I brushed my teeth. I had a shower, I washed my hair, I cut my toenails. I went and did some physio exercises for my hips.
oh my God, good job. I can't believe it's so beautifully productive and relaxing day.
Yeah, but I say a little bit this last moment of like tick 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 was a little bit me like, uh these are the things I should do. And maybe because I knew I was going to be talking about it, sort of added like an extra level of like, okay, I should do these.
Yeah.
But it did make I was thinking a lot about like, the things we do and the things we don't do, and what the things we do when they're performed, and things we put aside because we're not performing them for someone and or for something. And yeah,
Mm,
that like tension seemed really like interesting to sort of observe in myself, where like, yeah, maybe I wouldn't have washed my hair. I would have just like, I do it tomorrow, you
right.
know? But I did it. I was like, no, because I'm it's part of something else. And if I don't do it now, I won't have time tomorrow. La la la, la, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, it's interesting just those choices and like when like last week we were talking about improvisation, like and how you can play with or against the rules and what rules you follow and like what kind of aesthetics and groupings that like provides and space. And it somehow for me it's interesting to imagine, and that's what this part of the podcast sort of allows for as well, is like imagining how those like daily activities can also contribute to a genre maybe or
Mm.
to an aesthetic to some kind of notion of a choreography or a practice of an improvisation to some kind of game or play that we have with what we do and experience. Yeah, and then I went to bed. I read my book. I'm reading a comic called Heartstopper, and they've just released the new volume. It's a young adult book, comic about
Okay.
two boys that fall in love at school.
Hmm.
It's very
Wow.
easy reading. It's a little bit intense at the moment. Like I think either one of the characters is gonna have a mental breakdown or like someone's
Huh.
gonna fall in love with someone else or I don't know. Like they've done a lot. Like this is the sixth book, so they've gone through a lot. I'm like, where are you gonna take these characters now? Like, and I'm
Right.
getting through the book, like there's a lot left, and I'm like, oh, what are we concluding here? It's exciting. I'm
Nice.
interested. Yeah, and then I fell straight asleep. I was I was quite tired.
Yeah. Whoa,
That's
whoa,
that was my
whoa.
yesterday.
Such a beautiful yesterday. Also, you brushed your teeth 3 times. This is beautiful. Congrats from the name from your dentist. I'm like, wow. I love to brush teeth also, so that's
You might notice I'm missing a tooth.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I've started to really respect the value of brushing and flossing one's
Hmm.
teeth because I would like to keep the teeth I have. Um, yeah, when I was younger, I ate a lot of sugar and I felt like I was invincible. I would live forever.
But, you also watch 3 TV series, three episodes of
At least, yeah,
me at least, right?
yeah,
And also cook to good food.
yeah,
Yoga. Oh,
yeah, yeah.
also yoga, and I wish I could have heard your conversations with you also. I'm a bit dance, dance, or like, like
Yeah. Um, I mean,
fun.
I think we were talking about like body injuries. We were talking about how to meditate as well because we
Mm.
had been meditating. Julia's reading different books on it. And I think we were talking about like what kind of practices we can continue doing. For a long time, we did yoga every morning. And Julia was talking about how useful that was because now that they do so much work at a desk um, to to do the physics they do, the amount of physics they do, um, and yeah, just negotiating that like with the shoulder that's been hurting and my hips as well. Like I can't do yoga how I was doing it as well because I had an injury last year. So just yeah, a lot of mindfulness and reflection. I think that's like very dance, like spending time with your body and reflecting on it and negotiating the path forward and how to continue.
But it's also a lot of like it's couple life you describe.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
And I mean, I am I'm very often creating metaphor between a partner and dance as a partner, and but I
yeah,
do think in that sense,
yeah,
maybe sometimes the body is really our partner, like how much we
yeah.
are busy with the body, with the rhythm of the body.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it's true. All right, let's dance this day. Let's
Such
dance
a
a
beautiful
little
day.
our
Happy
where
birthday,
we've
Juliana.
arrived
Oh,
now.
this is a dance for Julia's birthday. Oh my God, can I?
Yes, of course,
Oh
of
my God,
course.
you have
It's amazing how much you miss in a day. Because I just remember now there was a pigeon making a nest.
a pigeon making a nest.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was just like, and we saw it from the window down the stairs in the corridor with like it looked like Salvador Dali with this twig in its mouth because it looked like the mustache.
Right. Oh,
Thank you, Ali.
thank you.